And she serves with distinction like all of the great women that we have in DeKalb County. At this time, I don't know what's going to happen. There's no monitor behind me, but you come on up.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you, Commissioner Cochran Johnson. That was an inspiring introduction and opening to today. And I'm fired up. And it's a real pleasure and joy to work with a real woman.
Amen.
Many of us, many of our advancements today in education, health, business law, policies, and politics are as a result of women. Many of you here today, Black women, women in DeKalb County. And I'm filled with pride to be standing on the shoulders and struggles of those who came before me. I currently serve and work with women today who are ensuring the future for women tomorrow and for the women that follow us. And many of you that I serve with are here today. So thank you 100 Black men of DeKalb County for recognizing the power of Black women. You said you had 2 minutes. I have 5 minutes. What does that equal? So I only have 5 minutes, and I'm going to try and stick with my notes so I can stay in 5 minutes. And I will recognize a few, though there are many, many more. Many of you have your own personal histories and stories in DeKalb County, because our history is rich. From struggle to transformation. Picture it, DeKalb, 50 years ago. It was a rural community. Segregation was the law of the land. Black people had no police protection, and there were laws that prevented us from voting. 2 soldiers returning from war and along with their wives were lynched in Monroe, Georgia. That was DeKalb. Many gave up hope that they would ever see justice in their lifetime until a preacher from Columbus, Primus King, and the power of the Black church sued the state of Georgia's all-white Democratic primary and won. This action changed the trajectory of Georgia's political history. One of the KKK's last public meetings in 1962 on the square in Decatur, where a young Black woman, Elizabeth Wilson, witnessed. At that time, there were no public facilities. No public facilities existed for Black people. Elizabeth Wilson and Dorothy Scott decided to take on the public library, and they were the first African American women to get a card. The movement, along with other historic actions, including Thankful Baptist Church in Decatur, and there's a big history and story around what happened at Thankful that even involved Elizabeth Wilson, but I'm trying to stay to 5 minutes. But those actions led to Miss Maggie Woods, elected first Black councilwoman in Lithonia in 1972, followed by Miss Elizabeth Wilson, first City of Decatur councilwoman elected in 1984. And she was the first woman, Black or white, after 160 plus years to ever serve. Then becoming the first African American mayor of the city of Decatur in 1993. Judge Linda Warren Hunter, still serving as Superior Court judge, was the first African American trial court judge in 1987. and she's a woman. Henrietta Turnquist, one of the first African-American women in the Georgia General Assembly in 1990. Juanita Barranco, who we will hear more about later, you'll learn more as she's an honoree, in 1978 co-founded along with her husband the first African-American owned car dealerships in this country. I have a story with that. I retired from General Motors at the time, and that was significant. Their challenges were incredible because now we're talking about economics, about money. Cynthia McKinney, the first African-American congresswoman elected in DeKalb in 1992. And we currently have 2 African-American women serving in Congress, Lucy McBath and Nikema Williams. Helen Butler, Executive Director of the Georgia Coalition for the People's Agenda, an activist and advocate, who protested the removal and worked to restore purged voters to the roll. Stacey Abrams, who represented DeKalb and ran to become the first African-American governor. Well, she didn't win that race, but she changed Georgia. And that's not the end of the story, and we are grateful. Remember, fair fight. Kim Jackson, an African-American woman elected state senator in DeKalb County, is the first LGBTQ designation in Georgia. Jasmine Cobble, the youngest councilperson, an African-American woman, is the youngest elected council member in the city of Stonecrest. What a strong history we have. We honor our past strong sisters who made the way for today. DeKalb County is the only county in the country to have all justice agencies run by elected African-American women. Our district attorney, Sherry Boston, our sheriff, Melody Maddox, Chief Judge Asha Jackson, Solicitor General Donna Coleman Stribling, Probate Judge Bedelia Hargrove, Chief Magistrate Burl Anderson, and yours truly, Clerk of Superior Court. And although not elected, our Chief of Police is a woman of color, Mirtha Ramos. Nowhere else in the country does that exist.
Get in the middle of this. I'm going to exercise executive privilege over here standing in the right corner because this is so important. One thing that I've learned being in government, and I'm glad I came in as an outsider because I didn't come in with rose-colored glasses. I see things as they are.
Yes, indeed.
And the one thing that makes me so proud of us is, but we fail to tell our own story. And a man who doesn't tell or write his own story will have someone else create it for him. That's true. It's time we really know what people are doing here in DeKalb. And I've never been more proud than to serve alongside these women. Now I'm going to keep on. Thank you so much.
But it is true. We can no longer stand for the singular commentary that is put out by our media. And it is important to tell our story because we frame what it means. We know our history. It is others that do not know. Many of us don't know, and it's important to learn our history. But it gets better in DeKalb. So, today, DeKalb County, Georgia, has the largest number of African American women elected to office. And I only have 5 minutes, so I'm not going to name them all. Did I go over time? Okay.
You are good.
I'm using her.
That's right. You're still at 4 minutes, Debra. You still got 4.
So understand that DeKalb County has the largest number of African American elected women, and I'm not talking just agency heads. We're talking mayors, legislators, councilwomen, commissioners, and the like. And I want to thank Senator Tonya Anderson, another amazing African American woman, for orchestrating a photo, this photo, to commemorate our achievement. And I'm going to show you. Oh, wow. Now, there are about 15 elected women that are missing from this photo. As you can imagine, it's very difficult to get that many elected women together at one time. And we did. You're not in that photo, but there are about 15 others. So that could be even a much larger picture. And we thought we'd do it again. But I thought it was important as we teach our young women that are coming behind us, they have a lot to be proud of. The largest voting bloc in DeKalb County is African American women. Everyday, hardworking women who have stories of strength and courage. We have not mentioned today, but the impact is powerful and it is visible. Our future is secure. The future of African American women started many years ago and will continue to add to our rich, powerful, amazing history and legacy, not only here in DeKalb County, but we're making a difference in this entire country. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's give my clerk of Superior Court, Miss Debra DeBerry, my favorite long round of applause. As I sat there, I was reminded of Hosea Williams.